Dear viewers, welcome to True Wolf Stories. Today, I bring you a powerful and heart-touching story about inner strength, unshakable courage, and the quiet power hidden inside all of us. This story is called The Invisible Ladder, Climbing with Confidence. In the next few minutes, you'll witness a journey that begins with fear but ends with transformation. A journey that reminds each one of us that we rise one small step at a time. So stay with me till the end. I promise this story will touch your heart and maybe even change the way you see your own path. In a small, quiet town where the forest seemed to whisper and the lake shone like a dream, there lived a girl named Mira. Her life was peaceful, but deep inside, she felt something gently waking up. Mira wasn't the loudest. She wasn't the fastest or the funniest. She walked gently through life, eyes low, heart full of silent thoughts and quiet hopes. While other children played, Mira found comfort in pages and stories. The library was her sanctuary, a place where imagination whispered louder than the world around her. One day, during a class presentation, Mira's words stumbled. Laughter echoed. Her heart cracked. That night, tears soaked her pillow, and shame wrapped around her like a cold blanket. But in the silence of night, something magical happened. Mira closed her eyes and saw it, an invisible ladder, rising high into the stars. Not of wood or steel, but of courage and choices. Each rung had a words of strength. Try. Hope. Speak. They weren't just words, they were promises. And Mira, with trembling hands, reached out and climbed. That night she climbed. Slowly, fearfully, but upward. Every movement meant something. Every step said, I can try again. There were times she fell, times she froze. The ladder would vanish, only to reappear when she believed again. Falling wasn't failure, it was part of the climb. In high school, Mira stood before a choice. Debate team. Her voice trembled just thinking about it. But she remembered the ladder. She saw the rung that said voice. Her first debate, her hands shook. Her knees wobbled. But her voice rose. The audience clapped gently, and inside, Mira stepped one rung higher. As her confidence grew, so did her doubts. You're not the best, the voice whispered. Old fears returned, wrapping around her like a storm. But the ladder waited, patient and glowing. From her quiet courage came a spark, an idea. What if others could see their ladders too? What if confidence could be taught? Not through shouting, but through story. Then came the announcement. A nationwide competition. A chance to share her idea. A full scholarship. But Mira didn't smile. Her heart beat faster, for fear, not excitement. Who do you think you are? The voice returned. She couldn't write. Couldn't think. For 3 long days, Mira stayed frozen, afraid to climb, afraid to fall. One evening, she walked to the lake, the place where everything always felt clear. The air was still, the water calm. She closed her eyes, and there it was again. The ladder shone, and one rung glowed brighter than all the rest. It read, Leap. Mira took a breath, reached out, and climbed. With trembling hands, Mira submitted her idea. Her story. Her journey. She didn't know if it was enough, but she had climbed. That she knew. Then came the waiting. Every day she watched the mailbox. Not for a miracle, but for a sign that her voice mattered. That her climb meant something. And then it came. A letter with golden edges and a name she knew, her own. She opened it slowly, her breath catching in her throat. She had won. But more than the prize, she had found something greater, her courage, her voice, her place on the invisible ladder. With the letter in hand, Mira began preparing. She practiced each word, not to be perfect, but to be true. This time, she was speaking for more than herself. She boarded a train, leaving behind the familiar. Ahead lay a stage, a crowd, and possibility. Her ladder followed silently, always there, always rising. The conference was large, full of confident voices. Mira felt small, but she stood tall. She had climbed through fear before. This was just another rung. Waiting backstage, the nerves returned. The shaking hands, the racing heart. But she closed her eyes and saw it again, the ladder, steady and glowing. She stepped onto the stage, not because fear had disappeared, but because belief had taken its place. She reached for the rung labeled brave and climbed. Mira told her story about failure, fear, and the invisible ladder made of choices. Her words weren't perfect, but they were hers. And they mattered. Silence followed her last words. Then applause. Soft at first, then rising. Not for perfection, but for truth. For the climb she made visible. News of her story spread. A girl with an invisible ladder had shown the world that confidence is built, not born. One step at a time. Mira turned her idea into action. A real program, taught in real schools. Children began to draw their own ladders, and they began to climb. Letters came from students who once felt invisible. "I climbed today," one wrote. Mira smiled. Her ladder had become a bridge for many. Mira returned to the place where it all began. The library. The shy girl. The first fall. And now, she returned not as the same Mira, but as someone who had climbed. In a room full of curious eyes, Mira watched as students built their own invisible ladders. She didn't just see drawings, she saw rising hearts. She taught teachers to see what couldn't be seen, that behind every quiet child, there might be a ladder forming, if only someone believed. One boy said, "I can't climb anything." Mira smiled, handed him a paper, and whispered, "Then we'll start with the first step. I want to." Later that day, he drew a ladder. It was small, crooked, imperfect, but it was his. And the moment his pencil touched the page, he climbed. Mira wasn't alone anymore. A team had formed, young hearts, brave voices, all dreaming of a world where everyone knew how to climb. What started as a whisper had become a voice across the nation. The invisible ladder wasn't just Mira's, it was everyone's now. She shared her journey on screens across the country. But even then, she reminded them, it's not about the fame, it's about the climb. Years had passed, but the lake hadn't changed. Mira sat quietly, letting the wind speak. The ladder still rose, always higher. There were still steps to take. That night, she wrote a letter to the girl she once was. "Thank you for reaching. Thank you for climbing. I'm here because you didn't give up." Somewhere, another little girl read Mira's story. Her heart stirred. Not because Mira was perfect, but because she had once been just like her. If this story touched your heart even a little, if it reminded you of your own invisible ladder, if it made you believe again, please like, comment, and share so others can find courage too. Your simple like, your small comment, your gentle share, these little actions help this story reach someone who may need it tonight. You might give courage to a heart you never meet. And dear viewer, please subscribe to True Will Stories, so you never miss the stories that strengthen your mind, soften your heart, and remind you that hope still lives quietly inside every journey. Thank you for being here, for giving your time, and for walking through this story with an open heart. Thank you for watching.